Hello, family, friends, and fans. I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is City of Eternal Spring, track by track. Yes, I'm doing a little YouTube mini series breaking down my new album, City of Eternal Spring, track by track. They used to do this in the old days. You'd hear George Harrison, you know, talking on KNBC radio or whatever it was, talking about the new Beatles album, Abbey Road. And they'd be like, well, this song is just John prattling on, and this one is Paul just screaming, and this one's me being great, you know. So I'm doing because you know. Anyway, all right. So this is the last track on the album. I've been doing this for a while, by the way. We should be uh, in July by now. So happy July. I guess 4th of July was last week. I missed it with the last show, but happy 4th of July. That's a different show for a different time. But right now, let's close out our little mini series, Our Eternal Spring, track by track. This track is called Savage Garden. Savage Garden. And okay, a lot to talk about on this song. It's one of two songs on the record that have kind of a ska feel. So the drum is on the one, the snare's on the one and the three instead of on the two and the four, and there's lots of things like that. Musically, a lot of horns. It's a good song. It's a great song to close out the album. It was one of my favorites when I wrote it. It you know it was inspired originally by a British sitcom, which we condescendingly say Britcom, called Peep Show, which had Mitchell and Webb, their comedy team, David Mitchell and Robert Webb, and it was like a British version of The Odd Couple, sort of. One guy played a wonky middle management nerd, and the other guy was a slacker hipster character. Peep Show. Check it out. It's funny. It's a good show. So anyway, the little trick of the show is that it's a sitcom, but the hook of it is that you can hear the internal thoughts of the characters, the things they don't say. So, for example, here I am talking, and then you might hear a voiceover of my internal thoughts saying, I wonder if anyone's actually watching this. God, I look stupid, you know? So, in Peep Show, there's a character, Superhands, and Jeremy and Superhands are working together in the studio, and Superhands says, it's a savage garden, my friend. A savage garden. And Jeremy thinks but doesn't say, should I ask him what he means? Which I think is something a lot of people think to themselves. Because he doesn't understand him and he's not sure he wants to. So I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen that episode, but it's stuck in the back of my head. It's a savage garden, my friend. A savage garden. And, it wasn't supposed to mean anything. The character was sort of a wacky neighbor character, Super Hands. He was the equivalent of Kramer on Seinfeld. He was that kind of wild card, you know, secondary character. So I was thinking about it, just couldn't get that out of my head, and I just liked it. Then I was going to write also, there's a thing called a Silk Road, which is, a, I think it's a drug trading route, the Silk Road. So I thought, Silk Road to a Savage Garden. That works. It was gonna be two songs. One was gonna be called Silk Road, one was gonna be called Savage Garden. And I said early on, I was like, no, that's one song. Silk Road to a Savage Garden. That was gonna be the title, and I just shortened it to Savage Garden because I'm a lazy, lazy man. And life is short. I'm not paying for those extra words. Anyway, so what is this song about? Well, it's not about a drug trade like the Silk Road, and it's not about Peep Show. They never even explain what Savage Garden means on that show. It's a funny turn of phrase, though. What is this song about? Well, the lyrics go Silk Road to a savage garden where the vines will tangle and harden, strangle the flowers in the midnight hours, ending the now and then. And then the verses go something like, I can't wait to pierce your defensive walls, uh, know know your darkened halls. So if you still haven't figured it out, think about a woman's body and her legs. Like I'm a leg man. I'm a leg man. I'm a beautiful pair of woman's legs. Just it's just a thing. So women's legs are often described as being silky, silky smooth. You know what I never understood? How come everybody knows that you shouldn't shave against the grain, right? If you shave against the grain of your face, you're going to get these ingrown hairs. We all got them as teenagers because we were learning how to shave properly. And you never shave against the grain. And yet, when a woman shaves on a razor, a woman's razor commercial, she always shaves from the foot up to the knee, which is always against the grain. I've never known anyone whose hairs grew up. So why is it in every commercial they show women shaving upward against the grain? That's diabolical to me. I guess it looks better. It's a graceful image of seeing the woman and her pretty leg, and she's carrying, but whatever. Okay, so back to the song. If a woman's legs are silky, where does that silk road lead? To a savage garden, my friend. Now, it's not that the female genitalia is in any way unpleasant. It's fantastic. It's the reason we all get out of bed in the morning. It's more about there are lyrics in the song that go, cut the flora down before you fertilize the ground. Let the fresh wind blow. It's the only way to know. It's a song about that contemporary personal grooming trend, which finds people, women in particular, choosing to be hairless. Now, and that's something, by the way, that I'm behind that 100%. A lot of bacteria down there. A lot of bacteria hides in that hair. But of course, you can't say that in the bridge of a pop song. Maybe you can, but I chose not to. I chose to write this particular song. I guess I was being cagey about it, but you kind of blow the caginess when you explain the joke. I get that. But that's what the song's about. Savage Garden. It, I don't know if that's going to ruin the song for everybody or not, but for me, it kind of made it. It made the song what it is because it's an interesting song. It uses interesting songwriting techniques such as uh, continuing the chord from the verse into the chorus. So, for example, let's say the song is in the key of G. So normally you might end your verse in on a chord like C or D, this dominant or subdominant or dominant, I should say, to lead you into G, which would be the root chord, and that would be the beginning of the chorus. But a different way of doing it is holding on to the D chord and letting D be the first chord of the chorus. So you don't change chords between the verse and the chorus. Keep the same hold over that chord into the chorus instead of changing it because it creates a sense of anticipation in the listener's ear. It makes them want to hear more. There's another little trick that I forgot to mention in an earlier video. I'm going to throw it in that I developed on this record, and that's this. See, I write in a kind of shambolic way. I like to write and record at once. So once I've got enough to start recording, I'll start recording because I record alone. If you have a band, you got to finish the song, you got to bring it in, you got to impress them with how it goes, you got to show them how it goes in rehearsal. You can't bring in a half-written song into a band. But when you record alone, like I do, you can definitely write as you go. So I kind of prefer to do that. Um, One of the techniques I stumbled upon is one time I accidentally sang the second verse in the bridge. Different melody, same lyrics, and I didn't. It's not that switched them. I had this second verse, and then I sang the second verse in the bridge, and boy, did that work! You know, my ear was instantly intrigued by it. I was like, wait a minute, I've heard that, even though I've never heard the song before. If I put myself in the position of someone who's never heard the song, there's an instant familiarity to the bridge, which is weird. And I've never known a songwriter to do that. I've never heard it done. I only did it by mistake, but it's a fun little trick that I kind of invented, I think. And it's not in this song, Silk Road, I don't think, Savage Garden rather. But it's in, I didn't want to forget to mention it in my little mini series here, because if you're a songwriter and you're looking for tips, that's a tip. Try taking the lyrics from your second verse and putting it in the bridge. Use a different melody. Don't just use your second verse as a bridge. Change the melody, change the chords, but keep the lyrics the same. It gives it a conceptual wholeness, and it's something no one else does. It's something, to my knowledge, only I've ever done, which I'm pretty happy about. After 50 years of being a songwriter, I accidentally invented something. That's cool. And if I didn't invent it, and I think I did, then I'd like to hear someone else's version of doing that. And you can put your comments in the comment section on this video, or there's a link to the video of the song. Put your comments there. Let me know. Maybe you've done that. Maybe you haven't. You want to try it. Try it. That's a free tip from me to you. It's a gift. Songwriter to songwriter. Make good use of it. All right, and that is the end of Savage Garden. The last song on my record, City of Eternal Spring. So that means we're at the end of my little mini-series. This has been fun. We're now in mid-July, so it's hot probably where you are. I hope it is. Enjoy, get out there, enjoy the sunshine, and don't sit in front of your computer. Download my new album so you can listen to it on your phone. It's available wherever you like to download your favorite music. You can download mine. And I got lots of other records. I've got books. I've got audiobooks. I got videos. Like and subscribe to this channel. If you watch this video all the way through, like and subscribe. At least subscribe. You don't have to like, but subscribe. You don't have to subscribe either, but it'll make finding my videos easier, and it costs you nothing, and it always will never cost you anything. Okay, if you're down with double negatives, subscribe twice. Otherwise, tune in again, watch the other episodes of this show in retrospect, download the album, watch my other shows, Fletcher Rhoden's Pet Peeves, Quotes and Quips with Fletcher Rhoden. I've also got Tracking the Lone Wolf, which is my show from 2023, based on my book, Tracking the Lone Wolf. That's also on audiobook format. There's so much to my life. I'm sharing it all with you. Hey, all you have to do is pay for it, and often you don't even have to do that. It's free. Like me, it's free and fun. Okay, so thanks again for tuning in. Watch some more, listen and download. Stay tuned for more, and until then, bye, Mary.